Hello! If you're listening to this, it's only because you chose to came back. It's the Innie Outie cast with me, Daniel McKeown.
And me, Rhiannon Shaw.
This is our Severance rewatch cast, where we just go through episodes of our favourite TV show, Severance, celebrating the ups and downs of the Lumen industry employees. And we're joined by a comedian every week to talk about fan theories, talk about what we want to get from the next few seasons, and just other stuff that's on our mind. And this week we're joined by the amazing Alice India, everybody! Woo! Thanks so much for coming on, man.
Thank you for having me. This is an absolute pleasure.
No worries. We're happy to have you. When did you first... I suppose actually we should probably, before we get into like how you got into Severance and stuff, we should start with some housekeeping, which is that since we started recording, they have announced a season 2 air date, which was long prophesized but never like confirmed.
I mean, we kind of thought it would never come back.
I actually think it's coming out on my birthday. Because
is it actually?
Is it? Yeah, I think it's February the 18th.
This is meant to be.
February the 18th.
Happy birthday, me.
Yeah. I think it might be January 17th.
Okay, well, I'm just going to go
I'm so sorry. I know, I just burst your bubble instantly.
Do you mind if I get an Uber? I'm going to go.
Yeah, please.
You could just wait and live in your own reality and then watch it like, it is on my birthday. Like, it is actually on my birthday.
I was so certain. Can you cut that?
No, everything. Do not cut that. Future Daniel, do not. I have severed brain between editor and recorder. But yeah, it's finally coming back. We genuinely, when we first started, which is it's sort of a blessing and a curse, because we started this and we're like, this is going to be the easiest rewatch show. We'll do like 8 episodes, run them out, and then in 3 years' time we'll do another 8 episodes. And now it's like back to the podcast factory to really like churn out some bits and pieces. But it's exciting because we've finally seen some new footage. Have you seen the trailer or the announcement footage?
No, I haven't seen anything about the new
stuff.
It's
very
staying pure,
enticing.
Yeah.
It is. I would do that just because the stuff we saw didn't really make any sense. So
No,
it was very like yeah.
I mean, you could pick it apart like second by second, everything like that we might have got like a glimpse of, but
Yeah.
it's not healthy to think like that. I mean, did you raw dog getting into Severance, or did you have a lot of people being like, oh my god, you must watch Severance?
I feel like it's one of those things that, like, on Twitter, I just saw the word a lot and was like, okay. And then, like, it's a bit like with Succession. I kept just seeing Cousin Greg everywhere and had no
really?
concept of who Cousin Greg was, what it was supposed to mean. And so then when I eventually started watching Succession, I was like, Cousin Greg. And I suddenly felt part of something.
Yeah.
Whereas with Severance, again, I think I just saw the word around and just sort of didn't pay it any mind. And then it turns out I've been watching it 4 years later anyway, but
it's definitely like you hear the word, because I feel like their promo is weirdly kind of shit because they don't do a lot to promote it.
They only have a LinkedIn page, right?
Yes, they only have a LinkedIn page, if you didn't know.
Are you serious?
I know, right? It's
That's
so
jokes.
good.
I love that so much.
But it was very much like, I feel like I heard the word Severance and then just saw like Adam Scott's sad face in the one promo picture they always used. But he's so mopey. Little did we know just how mopey he was going to get. I feel like Succession was one where someone told me the premise, and it was one of those things where I was like, well, I know I'm going to like that, so I'm not going to watch it because you won't tell me what I like. And then finally I got into it and I was like, oh yeah, it's the best show I've ever seen in my life.
I think I panic when people really like something. I think I'm just like, what if I can't give them what they need from me?
It's a lot
of
of
in response. And they're like, oh my god, did you get around to watching Breaking Bad? And I'm like, I need to leave.
There's a real neediness when someone tells you their favourite. Like, you're not watching it? You're not watching Game of Thrones or whatever?
Actually, I have something to tell you, is that I watched The Bear and I hate
No, it's valid. I totally get it. Like,
That's my horny show.
That's your horny show?
Up. Yeah, when I want to be like a little animal.
Is it?
Can cut that as well?
Is it just Jeremy Allen White, or is it the stress of a kitchen that really kind of gets the blood pumping?
Is it the sandwiches?
I do love a sandwich, but I think
that omelette did get me. The omelette that she makes in that one thing.
Oh yeah,
pretty...
but she like sieves it.
Yeah.
Imagine having the time to sieve an omelette.
Yeah. Imagine. Wait, but what is it that gets you so pumped up about it?
I've recently found out that what I consider to be horny is not horny, and that there might be something fundamentally wrong with me.
Right.
Oh.
So I occasionally will make and then remake horny playlists on Spotify just to get just to keep me amused on the bus. Just get myself riled up on the bus on the way to work.
Yeah.
What features on the horny playlist?
Well, this is the problem. So I had you guys au fait with Hamilton the musical.
Okay, Alice, this is already
Okay,
we're like 5 minutes in. Like it's already. Do you mean the least horny musical around?
I love a power struggle.
Wait, wait, no, hang on.
Power
So
struggle.
not the song
Wait a
about
minute.
him like shagging that woman.
No, that is also on the playlist.
Okay,
Like, I'm
okay,
that's not- but that's
mostly
not
the
deranged.
political stuff.
No, the stuff like the room where it happened is on there.
Oh, come on, man. Help us out. Like, at least Rhiannon tried to throw you a bone by saying, like, oh, the one about sex. You're like, yeah, that one too. But
I love a
really.
power struggle. I love people like Succession, and that's another horny show that I'll watch. To
Well,
get
that
myself
is horny,
riled
I
up.
get that.
that is horny, and also that's in a quite a
That is also on the horny playlist.
unsexy horny way. Do you know what I mean? Where it's not like nuts and bolts. It's not like your classic sexy show. Like it's not pitched to you as a sexy show, but weirdly
Isn't it?
the tension. I feel like it's kind of. It's not like I don't know. What's a sexy show? I don't know.
Sex in the City.
What is
So I was
sex?
literally going to say Sex in the City.
Have you guys done it? Have you guys done sex?
Had sex.
Have you had sex?
I've done the city. Ain't done the sex yet.
Breach, sister.
I mean, I've seen Succession and Hamilton, so we feel like.
So I think we've all
I think we've
seen
all.
Girls.
Yeah, we've all finished. So yeah, Girls is a horny. Is a sexy show. I will
No,
say.
that's grubby horny though. That's like.
But I
that's
like the.
Do you not like grubby horny though? You like musical theatre.
I was like, no, I don't.
Who are you?
I don't know. So like the only way I can describe my sexuality is horny menace. Like a bit like if Winnie
Right.
the Pooh got the horn. You know like
Okay.
how he got stuck in a hole because he wanted honey so bad? I'd get myself stuck in a hole because I want to have sex so
Do you
bad.
like stuck porn then?
No, I don't even know what that is.
Dude,
given up
you
on
were,
it.
yeah,
Yes,
that's
it's-
it's like,
Oh, is that where people get stuck in a door?
yes,
Fun.
or
Yeah,
the
or a washing machine.
washing machine is famously the one.
Dishwasher.
Yeah.
I once had a birthday
I-
party on Zoom for obviously for lockdown, not just in life. Although
Yeah,
based on
yeah.
everything I've said up to this point, maybe.
Okay, yeah.
And my friend and yours, Sakisa,
Yes.
came to that party. It's not that I'm friends with famous people. It's just they just sort of gravitate towards
Name
me.
drop.
No, but she came after.
Weirdest name drop, by the way. Just trying to explain this,
Yeah, sorry.
explain this journey we're on.
So Sakisa came to that birthday online and then just showed us all stuck porn.
Oh, so you have seen
yeah.
So I think I have seen it. Like a
Okay.
lady got stuck in a door, and then someone tried to help her, but then gave up and fucked her.
It is the kind
At
of.
least he tried.
He did.
Yeah.
Oh no! Oh, he tried.
Well, it is the kind
At
of.
least he tried.
He did.
Yeah.
Oh no! Oh, he tried.
Well, the thing for me with it, it's never done it for me. If we want just to get that on record, just because in my head I'm like, that wouldn't happen. Like it's just like too out of the
Oh,
realm
man,
of that world. Like I'm just like that wouldn't. No, you'd help her get out. Come on, you would. Come on, like just be.
Well, I guess
Be realistic.
I don't know because in the one that I saw, I think everyone involved in the project and those watching all agreed to disagree. Like we all just agreed that there was consent. We all just ignored the fact that a woman was stuck in a door and people
It is.
were having a little go on.
Was she kind of like, while I'm here,
yeah,
why don't we?
this is the thing. So I sort of, yeah. Sorry, I just.
So it doesn't do it.
brought up
Okay.
sexual
No,
assault.
no,
How
we're
many
just gonna
minutes
keep.
enough?
No,
How
we're
many
just gonna
minutes
keep.
enough?
No, we're just gonna keep listing different things that could be horny
Until we
till we kind of have a
work
Venn
out
diagram.
We find
yeah.
what it is.
I think I find normal things horny as well. Like I don't find Severance horny, but
No.
I don't think there's anything horny.
No, it's a very
Okay.
sexless show. We've talked about this before, I
Yeah.
think.
But
yeah.
there is yearning, like between in this episode, Bert and Irving.
Oh,
True, yeah,
That's
but that's
horny.
actually okay. Guys, by the way, great. Getting back on topic was phenomenal work there. That was incredible. I was
I
just
loved
like,
how you mentioned Severance. I was like, yeah, that's what we're here for.
Yeah, let's
Like,
loop
what
back
we're
in.
talking about. We're not, this is not
But
psychoanalysis.
I suppose it's horny in a very poetic way with Bert and Irving. I feel like where it's like I wrote this down in my notes while watching it. I'm just like I always get very emotional watching men of a certain age being vulnerable in shows, like if dads opening up to their sons or whatever, and seeing this where you see these two kind of legends of screen, like kicking their heels and giggling with each other and just like completely leaning in is so sweet and so tender, and I think one of the highlights of this show are just completely.
It's like breathless horny, where you're like, that kind of horny. Where if they touch hands, you're like,
yeah, they're my Pride and Prejudice a little bit.
Yeah.
Like I can so imagine them having like the hand twitch thing. While
don't
walking
call it a
away.
hand twitch.
Is that not what he's doing in that movie? When
No,
he's
don't call it a hand twitch.
what would you call
I
it?
feel like you've taken all the sexuality out of it. It's a quiver.
Oh, you are right. Sorry.
Yeah,
you know what?
hand
That's so fair.
twitch.
Hand
Someone's
twitch.
read romance novels.
Yeah.
No, I actually haven't, but I have recently been getting into audio erotica. So I'm
Okay.
now like, so this is I haven't had sex in a little while. I think
No, I
I'm
mean,
about
dude,
that today.
There's a reason you end up on a Severance watch constantly. It's not like a non-vaginal thing. Like, but it's like, but I get okay. So
I'm sorry, I feel like I've completely
would you?
derailed this
I
episode.
think no. I feel like Bert and Irving erotica exists almost certainly. There's no doubt in my mind that that's
Yeah.
out there on. But the I can't imagine which way you take it though, because part of me is like, would it be like, so, like once they get down to it, you know what I mean? Is it gonna be like?
Well, the thing is, I think it would start like. I mean, I don't know if you're au fait with fan fiction terms.
Yes, no,
It would start kind of fluffy. It would be like,
Okay.
oh, I brought you a hot chocolate.
yes,
And then
yeah.
they have a snowball fight somehow.
Yeah.
And then maybe like Irv falls over and he gets like stuck.
And then he
in the
falls
filing
down.
cabinet.
Oh, okay, yeah. Weirdly, this one because they're stuck in the office, so it's like that's kind of the
Right.
ultimate stuck porn in a
Oh
way.
my
yeah,
God.
it all comes back
It's
around.
stuck
Yeah.
porn, but like really gentle stuck porn.
Yeah, it's like, look, I genuinely like if Irving was trying. I mean, okay, it would be Bert stuck in the washing machine. Firstly, obviously, that's a given. I think between the two.
Wait,
who's
Bert's the bottom, you think?
I guess because there's the Bert. I think just
Yeah, but
the
his
bees.
name
sound nice, yeah.
is Irving B, so he could be Irving Bottom.
Yeah, that's true.
I think he's a bottom.
I think, and obviously spoilers here, but also I feel like both of them.
Spoilers, they fuck.
Well, like because I think Bert is
Oh,
the
'cause they're
one who's
together,
the
I
closest to making a move when they're in the garden together and they're getting all hot and heavy in that way. Which, oh my god, like that was like for us Birving heads, that was big. That was like, I
Birving.
mean, who isn't? You can't like who's like I hate them as a couple.
I don't remember the
I can't see it
garden
together.
thing.
It's basically like it's not really in this episode, but later there's a scene where all the tension kind of breaks and they get very, and it's not even, they don't even kiss or anything. It's just like
That's
they just
hot.
get very
It
tender.
is
Yeah.
hot.
It's
I
the
find tension hot. I think we've cracked it. I think I just like
oh
tension.
yeah, completely. I wonder if in next season in their outie, if their outies will be able to figure it out or like, but it's very knotty because I think Irving in real life has
Has a partner.
partner. Which could be dicey. So I don't know where that's going to go. I feel like that might... But we kind of want... They should at least get a tender spoon. I feel like I would...
Oh,
yeah,
I
I want
So-
a gentle handhold. Just
Oh.
like
Oh.
You feel every... It's one of those things that's nice about the show as well, where it's so... This show is so, like, each moment counts and
Yeah,
means
for
everything
sure.
to everyone. And when you have them doing it in such a romantic way... It's you really feel every like the way he you know when Irving invites Bert to invites everyone to come over to the O&D department and then they start calling each other O&D and MDF or
yeah.
does he say MDF or am I just
MDR.
MDR?
MDF is this
Damn
like...
it,
It's like
yeah.
with MDR like to
Would.
join me. And it's like,
Yeah. I know it's
Oh,
like call
man.
me by your name.
It is.
Yeah,
It's just
it's-
like...
it's exactly like that.
And I think as well, this show could easily not have involved, for want of a better term, gay shit. Like, you know what I mean? It
didn't
could have
gay
easily
shit.
not been gay.
And
So
yet
I'm
the gay
really,
shit is the cherry on the misery cake.
it completely it does elevate it. It goes complete. It makes it like, oh yeah, now.
Oh yeah,
Can you
that's
imagine
the
watching-
shit.
I'm just imagining people watching Severance like, no, but they're straight though, so I don't care about if they get out or not. And then finally finding out that
We're like, oh, but they're gay.
yeah, they're gay. Oh, okay, get them out of there.
Gay.
Like, yeah.
Oh no, they are old and gay.
Yeah. And that is, I think, being the fact that they're old does help
It
as
does
well
help.
because it just kind of gets them.
I completely
From A to
forgot
B.
about it, and then the minute it came on, like it started like developing when I was rewatching it, I was like, oh, I remember these gentle feelings that I have. Like I remember why I like engaged so heavily in this.
Oh my god, it's so. I think it's because that's one of the show's strengths. I feel like is that because it's so gentle, it's completely devastating.
Yeah.
Of like even because even okay, if we look at with this episode by the numbers. Not a lot happens to Mark emotionally,
No.
other than him finally admitting to himself that he misses his wife, and he finally has that kind of breakthrough of like he's not doing great.
Yeah.
At least for Outie
Yeah.
Mark, I feel like, and then you have Innie Mark, kind of has this self-destruction thing when he destroys the map.
Yeah.
Which is really, that's a tough watch, because sort of everyone at that point is almost screaming at him, like, you know, you shouldn't be severed, right? Like, you should probably, like, he has so many opportunities to get out, and to see him, it's kind of the peak of villain Mark, I feel like, in this episode.
I don't know if I see him. What explain villain Mark to me? Where?
Just, I feel like his arc is kind of going from not being a Lumen shill and not like, because he tries to show up for the department and he takes over, he's like, I'm going to be a good boss and replace PT, and then by the end he's sort of like, let's burn this place to the ground, and he kind of admits to the tenderness and is what's missing, and that he needs to admit that he is not doing well and can like embrace bad feelings again instead of just shutting them down.
Oh, but then I feel like he starts as the villain because he starts. Oh, is that what you mean?
Yeah, completely.
Can we cut this bit out too?
No, of course. Yeah. But it's just by the numbers, because this episode has a lot of the. I feel like up to this point, just to sort of ground, just to get back into what the listeners are maybe here for. You have like, we had a lot of lore in episode 3. There's a lot of like, here's all the mysteries. Here's what we don't know.
The perpetuity wing. Like, is that It's been so long since I've watched episode 3.
No, completely. You do forget stuff. Like, even this episode, I forgot how much happens. But this one is much more.
This is more
like,
about relationships, I think, and like
dynamics,
and obviously because Mark Outie gets to go to the funeral of a guy he had a close relationship,
but had no idea,
with,
because all the family is so like, or the wife and the daughter are or ex-wife and the daughter are very like oh, you.
It's weird. They're so cold. I mean, I get the whole sort of like Lumen thing, like.
Well, I think in their minds, Lumen is the thing that killed him.
Yeah.
So it's like, it makes sense. But it's so funny that Mark is getting the brunt of the meanness when you've got Cobell there literally drilling a hole in his head. It's like, Mark cannot catch a fucking break.
Her commitment to the cause, though. I mean, in this episode, you see her little picture of Kia on the desk.
Oh, okay, I missed that. That's
She has it in like a little tiny frame, so it's quite easy to miss. But she kind of looks at it, and then she goes to the funeral and like drills.
Yeah.
She's committed to the job.
I love.
Yeah, for sure.
I kind of, and I keep doing this on these watches. This comes up in some way, but because this is like the 4th or 5th watch I've done of this show, now, if you're playing it by the numbers, I was like, Cobell fucking rocks. Like, she's just like, if we're playing it like a video game of Severance, she's the one doing the damn thing, and like, and getting. She's just like, okay, what are the Lumen principles? How far can I get to? I have to drill a hole in this man's head to like keep my job. And she's just like, I had it a bit with other, you know, when there's characters moves in a show, not like a character, but like kind of a force. So I kind of really like that when that happens. So when Cobell goes sicko mode in this, it was pretty rocking, pretty cool.
She is very frightening, but she's how I feel, because her like Outie character, or like the facade that she puts on, is that sort of like artsy, slightly ditzy kind of like older woman.
Yeah.
She does remind me so much of like the women that I like grew up around, like my mum's friends, who are all these just kind of like, yeah, darling, and they all like smell of perfume and red wine, but they're all deeply evil women. Like, they are vile.
Amazing.
Not my mum, obviously, she's perfect, but like a lot of the women my mum would hang out with were like all the people who like, they probably were like the original gentrifiers of like Hackney or whatever, and they were just vile women, but they just have this like, oh, who, me?
Was it something, were you close with them, or is it something you've just noted over time kind of thing?
I have never. I think there are maybe like a handful of my mum's friends, which is really helpful for me to say out loud in public, so none of them will know who I'm talking about.
Yes.
Because they're obviously going to listen to this Severance podcast.
Broad spread of 30 to 50 friends that my mum has.
There are a handful that I really, really like, and then some that I obviously don't know that well. But like, there were just, I remember even as a kid just being like, I don't like these women. Like, they're just not nice women.
Yeah.
I think a middle class woman can be uniquely evil. I was thinking about this earlier, about when I was a teenager. I wanted to like be a literati, so I asked my mum if we could go to the Hay Festival, which is just the bougiest, most bullshit thing, you know, like the Guardian used to sponsor it. It's like in a field in rural Wales, and you get like Stephen Fry and Jodie Picoult and like all these different authors, and I went to see like Benedict Cumberbatch read some letters. But anyway.
Oh my god, oh Christ, I hate that I know everything you're talking about. I felt that, it's like, this is I watched those letter reading things.
I saw it live.
I didn't realise this was the thing, because sometimes they come up on TikTok and I have no idea what's going on. It's just famous people reading letters on want from them.
If you want a famous actor to read a very on the nose point, it's almost like they're like, and then Einstein said, "I don't want to work here," and walked out the room, and everyone clapped. That kind of, if you want that, but read by like Lawrence Fishburne or something, like in a nice, that's you go to that. Anyway, sorry.
But anyway, sorry, I went along to this festival, and I remember sitting on like this bench, and it was really hard to get like tables, and this middle class woman swarmed up, and I was saving the seats for my mum and my brother, and she said, "Oh, can I sit there?" And I said, "No, sorry, I'm saving the seat for my mum." And she said, "Oh, is your mother rather large?"
Oh, whoa!
That is exactly the sort of thing that my mum's friends
where
would
they're like,
say.
"Oh, I'm so witty."
This is the thing, they all think they're fucking witty and they're all just fucking
They're all just
winos.
They all think
Divorced
that.
winos.
I think they all think they've gotten away with something. Like, oh, they have no idea that I
Yeah,
just
that's the thing. It's like,
slighted
doesn't even
them.
know that I've been horrible.
But it's like, it's just like I was watching Emma, the movie with the Gwyneth Paltrow version, and it's very that because it was like hard for me to root for Emma because I was just like, you kind of suck, and the whole point of that movie is basically like
She sucks.
yeah, she sucks,
She
and
really
realize
sucks.
that she shouldn't suck anymore. Like, that's her whole journey. I can so. Do you think they are high-powered people that you were? Both of you were around, or
I mean, I think there are different kinds of power.
Yes.
Like, there's a certain like level of social power that you can have. I think that's like, oh, I'm going to. So if you're raising kids like around a school,
Yes.
you're like, I'm going to sort of create this mums group and then like exclude
Christ.
some
Yes.
people. You can really sort of exercise that power.
I can't imagine
Yeah.
anything more devastating than being cut out of the mums.
I think about this way
Group
too
chat,
much as someone
like-
who does
Yeah.
not have children. Where I'm like, what
Yeah,
happens
nor do I.
What if they
Like,
don't
what
like me at the
happens?
school?
I
It's like,
worry
hold
about
my
it
cat
too.
close.
Oh my god! They're just like, please.
No, my kid
You're
won't have
saying,
it.
No one's going to come to their birthday unless it's organic and vegan.
Yeah.
Well, it's all like I think sometimes with Mean Girl stuff, you wonder like surely there's a certain age you get to where you age out of that and you let go of certain demons. But there are
It
some
only gets
people
worse.
I've seen the Real Housewives. Like there's some people who it just will never go, and like you
Yeah.
will just constantly like I want to hurt that woman, and like I'm weirdly loving it now that we're talking about it. If I could do like a simulation of it, like
I could
that would
see
be
you
cool.
as a mean.
You'd work your way up through the
housewife.
ranks. You'd be someone's like bitch for a while, and then
Yeah.
you'd overthrow her.
Yeah,
I love the
Princess.
prison rules of this.
You'd overthrow her, and then you'd be the queen bitch.
Yeah, I would get a huge kick at that. I would not
I'd let it
pretend.
happen.
Yeah, because especially again, just the Regency thing. I love like a cutting. Like you I think it's because you want to be the Jane Austen character that does say the cutting thing. Like, oh,
Yeah,
Mr.
and doesn't
Darcy,
think of
I
it like
Yeah.
10 minutes later.
And I think all of them are trying to recreate that in some capacity. Do you think I mean, Cobell would have me in a heartbeat. I would not tussle with Cobell. I don't think.
No.
Yeah,
It's a bit in an early
hard.
episode where she does this. It reminds me of you know that scene in Lord of the Rings where where Bilbo gives the ring to Frodo in Rivendell, and then he suddenly goes like, it's like a little.
Oh, yeah.
She does something really similar, and I can't remember who.
Is it when she throws the mug?
No.
at
I
Mark?
think it might even be earlier than that, and I'm not sure if she's talking to Milchek or she's talking to Mark. But it's like she's saying something, and then she suddenly like snaps the last line. And you can see her like having to pull herself back, and it's really spooky. I'm very afraid of her.
She really, I hope when the new season comes, we get more unhinged. Because she's a slightly, like, she's kind of a what do you call it? Kind of a loose cannon. Because, like, everything she
She's
does...
a bit, isn't she? She's
Yeah.
doing it for the cause, but she is like... If she was doing it for the other side, she would be a problem to them, but because she does it for them...
She's very much an extremist, a lumen extremist, I think.
She also has this like whole thing with Mark and his wife. Like she's the one who is pushing this idea that like even though he's been severed, if he keeps putting like him and Gemma in a room together, that somehow he'll remember. And I think she's inspired by seeing him at Petey's funeral. That she's like, oh, he's so upset by this. So
Yeah.
actually, it must be some deep-seated feeling from having met PT on the inside, not the fact that they met in real life.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a really good point. I think she gets off on the idea of you can have such a deep emotional connection but so controlled by Lumen that it's like, oh, I'll let you see your wife, but because you've been subservient to the company.
Yeah.
And I think
like a reward that you don't know you're having.
yeah, and not like the full spectrum of a human relationship.
Yeah.
I think that was. I think we are, because from the teaser, there's some. I think we're gonna see Mark get reintegrated or begin. I actually think this episode was the first step of his reintegration beginning to happen, because the two streams are kind of connecting in this weird.
Yeah, because
this weird way.
At the very end, we see him make the tree, which is the tree that he like goes to, because that's supposedly. I mean, did the accident happen?
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's the tree
I'm so
his wife
dumb.
crashed into.
Yeah, no,
Alright.
Yeah.
So that's. I can't believe. I feel so stupid that you had to tell me that. I was just like, oh, he's a tree because he's growing. I was so believing that was it. Yeah, it could be both. We don't know. Yeah,
It could be both.
We're a very egalitarian podcast. We're like, all theories are valid.
They
Yeah.
are. Speaking of which, I mean, just checking the time here. Well, this might be too early in the podcast to say, but what do you think's happening?
In which sense?
What are they doing? What are they doing
Lumen?
there?
What does Lumen? Yeah, we've been asking all our guests. Sorry,
Oh.
what does Lumen do, and what the goats are about? So we were just wondering, what? Yeah, would you have a theory on?
Because
what
they hint at things that are how they do everything. But what I find really curious about Lumen, compared to like other shows you get where you have like an evil corporation, is that they have a long-standing tradition. Like they've been around for like 200 years,
Yeah.
which you don't normally get when you get these like ooky spooky corporate
Yeah.
things. I don't know, because I had
Yeah.
like a really dumb thought earlier when I was doing part of my rewatch. No, it's
This is
so
the space for dumb thoughts. We've already.
No, it's
like,
so far-fetched.
Please.
I wondered if there was something to do with like which, like, you know, that thing of like which side is the real side and like which world is the real world, and
Yes.
are they? I wondered if maybe they were like repopulating something, because you know how his little like
Ooh.
cul-de-sac isn't fully. He says something like, "Oh yeah, we thought the neighborhood would fill up, but it didn't," and she's there, and like
Yeah.
all these people are actually, they all live much closer together than you would expect. I mean, I'm saying that as someone who lives in like London, where you can be like an hour and a half away from your friend, but like I don't know what it's like to have a job in the US, but just like it feels weird that they all live so closely together.
Yes. No, I think
So
it's
I
a
wondered
good.
if there was some kind of like repopulation.
We've talked about, like, I like that theory because it's not cloning, which is what everyone else has said so far. So firstly, it's not a dumb.
I didn't even think of
It's
cloning.
like
And I feel silly.
I think they do. I think that makes sense of like, because it's very culty, the whole thing, right? And especially with the break room and stuff, like it's like quite deliberate and leans in quite hard on that.
Yeah.
So I feel like that would make sense of like if they could just have everyone living in this cul-de-sac. Whoa, hang on.
Oh, cul-de-sac.
Cul-de-sac in the head.
I kind of like that though. So you're thinking that like the Innie version of them, like someone like, say, what's the name of Innie version of Gemma? Mrs.
Oh God.
Miss Casey. Miss
Casey.
Casey.
Sorry, did you see me have a full breakdown trying to remember that? I was just like,
But
yeah, Miss Casey.
that you would have enough Miss Caseys to sort of create perfect workers who all live in that kind of cul-de-sac, maybe. Like,
Yeah, there's just something about it. The way that there's so much space and this idea that everyone feels like a guinea pig.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause we don't know how long that version of Lumen has, because also just because they say it's since the 1800s doesn't mean that it is.
True.
And I wondered, actually I can't remember if
I
I said
would
it at the
love
dinner
that.
table actually, but yeah, I just wondered if it was like a thing of like, I don't know, there's just something about population that kept coming up for
but there's
me.
also, the show kind of deliberately doesn't tell us anything, and the company's
Yeah.
hiding so much stuff. I would
Yeah.
love it if by like, I don't know, the third or fourth season we find out Lumen is just hemorrhaging money and like the whole thing has been a fraud.
Yeah,
and
it's
he's
all
like,
just been a real big mistake.
like, no, you don't make any money. You're actually really deep with the mafia, and it's like bad.
suddenly
Like,
ads start coming up on their like MDR screen.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
So sorry guys, but it's the only way we can make money now.
Yeah,
It's
it's,
subliminal advertising apologising to your outie.
They
my
just-
god! It could
oh
be
my
like
God.
a click farm where they're using an app they don't realise they're using, so they're looking like active daily users.
Oh my God.
Something as simple as that.
I would actually love that if it was just so ungrandiose
Yeah,
and
just
so
weird
like
shit.
it was just so ungrandiose
Yeah,
and
just
so
weird
like
shit.
it was just it's just brute and worse, and you were just, this is terrible.
They're just sorting like heart react.
Yeah.
That's what makes you feel
Angry.
weird.
Yeah.
Sending the sad guy crying emoji, like not the full crying, just beginning to cry emoji.
Yeah.
That's just the whole business. Just that, yeah. That's the first time as well we've not thought, because I really love the idea that they've existed for centuries or
Yeah.
whatever, but it does make sense that they would lie about that, just because they're
Why
all
not?
insane. There's no reason for
Because I
them
feel
not
like in
to.
the dinner party scene where they're talking about Lumen, I don't think they reference how long they've been around. They just reference the content, whereas it's only in the perpetuity reel where they start saying like, oh, in 1802 or whatever.
That's a really good point.
I mean, I could be chatting absolute shit. Maybe they've mentioned it multiple times, but it doesn't.
But it's weird, yeah. Because you feel like it's a town that has been founded by them, or at least sort of taken over
Yeah.
by them. So
It would make sense if it was flopping as well. In this vein, by the way, I thought, because we've often talked about like how we don't want the ending to be like, you know, really sad and like kind of we saw it. Oh, like not sad, but like it's happy. It's good if it's sad, but just not cathartic. Of like if we find out, oh, they're just doing Severance constantly on people, like they're just refining the Severance process or whatever in the macro data refinement way.
Oh, I hope it's not that.
Yeah, but I do think it's the kind of show where that could happen.
Yeah, because it needs to be sort of bleak and a bit underwhelming because their lives are bleak and underwhelming, I suppose.
Yeah, but I do think I thought of the most depressing ending recently, or like just a moment that could happen that I hope they don't
I'll add
do.
it to my horny playlist.
Which would be, this could, oh man, okay wait, what would be the best song? Definitely a Radiohead, imagine a Radiohead song
Okay,
playing when
okay,
this is
I'm ready.
happening. It is very Radiohead coded actually, weirdly. The whole thing is just so creep weirdo, like yeah, you can the whole thing. Everyone's journey is just I'm a creep, I'm a weirdo, what the hell am I doing here? It writes itself. But anyway, the vision I had was like, Mark gets close to reintegration and like you see what actually happened in a flashback or something, but then right as he's about to confront Cobell, she like flips a switch and severs him or something, so he never gets to, she
so
never
it goes
gets
back
to
like the beginning.
yeah, and he never gets
time is a
to
loop, we love that.
yeah, I would that would be so, I'd be like, no, like that's the one thing of like, because you just don't know how they're ever gonna get any kind of catharsis, because like in my head, you want the villains to be confronted and like, how could you do this, or why would you do this? But
It's too ooky spooky where even she doesn't really know who the board are, does she, Cobell?
No.
Because she never actually listens to them speak. The other lady does.
and even with Helly, the villain is her.
Yeah, she's
Like,
part of the problem.
She's we see, actually, I suppose this is something we could talk about. The most, this is the most of Outie Helly we see.
Yes.
In terms of her being
Actual-
real.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I
Um,
suppose even towards the end, like, we only see, like, little snippets as there's sort of the, like, chase, as it were.
Yeah, and we only see her in the propaganda piece talking. And this is the first clip, and we see of her, and she's really drank the Luminade. Like, she's really,
Well, she is Luminade.
Yeah,
She
yeah,
is
yeah.
Luminade. I mean, I think it's really interesting when
from the
she's
teat.
when she yeah, exactly. She what's I've forgotten her Kia. But yeah, anyway, her dad's
Yeah.
teats. Anyway, but
I'm so sorry. I did not have to say that.
But it's the words teat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, just kind of trying to quantify lemonade coming out of a teat is really not ideal, because
I feel so
Luminade
unwell.
comes
Yeah.
out of the yeah.
This-
But if you got lumens, make Luminade.
Yeah.
Sorry, I need to get this
we
like
need to
thing
bit
out
out
of
of
my
this thing.
head.
Yeah, we need
Get
to bit
the
out of
pit.
this. Yeah, or we're gonna
Okay.
end up in this weird
Alright, so
Lovecraftian
Helly,
horror
when
thing.
she's when we see her finally addressing Innie, Helly, because you know the last time it was just like, oh no, your sort of like petition to leave has been denied.
Yes.
And that was fed through someone else, but we finally see her confronting Innie
Yeah.
Helly. And the way at the end she's just like, turn it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
We get like a clue of
We're
how
done
much
here.
power she wields.
Well, even the tension with her and Cobell, when Cobell is like confronting her, and you can see, at least on this watch, I was like, Cobell's clearly torn here, because like this is insubordination, but like she's also
She's
the
a bit
daughter of
intimidated,
Negan,
I
yeah,
think. Yeah.
and she has to go with it. So it'll be interesting how much she can leverage that in future episodes. But very much like, I think Helly is going to be really fucked up and twisted. We're going to see a really weird journey. It's this odd thing, because you want them just to talk to each other. like, and they're the same person, but they're the same person, so they can't. It's like weird.
I mean, how would you feel personally if would you ever get severed? I suppose we've been asking people.
It's one of those things where it's like it seems like a good idea because I am someone. Like I remember working for this absolute sociopath, and her whole
Same.
oh my god! Oh yeah,
Let's get into it. Let's do it.
No, we'll full name her at the end. You have to listen to the whole thing. But like, so I remember, so I got broken up with last year, and I remember she said to me, "You just need to throw yourself into your work." But I think for me,
never true.
But I don't really know what that means. Like I genuinely, it's not that I didn't. And I remember sitting there and kind of feeling like, it's not like I don't want to turn off the bit of my brain that is sad and just focus on something stupid like marketing. Like, it's not that I don't want that, but it's like, what does that mean? So when I was watching this, I was coming to the end of my relationship with my ex, and so actually in my head I was like, God, yeah, it'd be lush to just turn your brain off and just kick yourself, but then you'd never change jobs or whatever, but... Yeah,
it's also weird advice because... regardless, you do have to throw yourself into your work. Like, you can't
really have
not
a choice.
work.
Yeah.
You can either be, like, miserable at work and pretend, or I don't know, make up that you really care about spreadsheets. Or
exactly. It's like no one cares. Like I remember having, so at this same job, I remember having an HR guy who was amazing, and I remember I sort of like was trying to drink the Luminade, and so I was trying to get really into it, and I was like, oh yeah, what an exciting development for the product, and he's like, is it exciting? And he was like the only person in the whole office who was like, is it that fun? He's like, is navy a great colour? Like,
oh my god,
isn't it incredible?
Because he was so high powered, he was so high up in the company that he could get away with going like, it's nice, it's exciting. And it was really horny, for one thing, but also it was just...
whispered?
Was there a tension?
Was there tension?
No, he was quite... oh God, no, did I find... I should call him. This married man with children.
Yeah,
no, but
this is where the yearning becomes horny. This is when it becomes it, because it's just like, yes, we could escape, we
He's
could
a
run
bit
free.
like... He has the energy of... Do you remember... Did you guys watch Handmaid's Tale?
I haven't seen it, no, but...
There's a man in The Handmaid's Tale who is sort of... He doesn't like the system, but he helped build it. Is it Bill Pullman? He's so fuckable. Just like... impossible.
I hope you remember, because otherwise this conversation is going to be like, there was a man who
there was
fuckable.
there was a man.
Yeah.
I might
imagine a fuckable man.
He's like an older man. He's a short king. He's got glasses, and he has the girl from Gilmore Girls ends up with him towards the end, but he never fucks her.
Yeah.
Lorelei's in Handmaid's Tale?
He is hot.
I didn't know Lorelei was in Handmaid's Tale. Can I see him?
Yeah, Lorelei is in it. Hang on.
Oh, that guy! Yeah. He's fit. I don't know what else I've seen him in.
He's like anti the system that he built. He won't burn it down, but he'll let someone else do it because he thinks it's funny to watch it collapse in on itself. That's what this HR guy was like.
I see.
So maybe he was.
I will say there is the freedom of that, and I think this show captures it as well. Of like, I remember I was working with someone, and I was like, we were at some event, and we had to take a bunch of LinkedIn content, and then she kind of unprompted was like, what do you know? Does anyone go on LinkedIn because they want to go on it, or like, you know? And I was just like, oh my god, you just
need someone to say like, isn't this so dumb? And you're like, oh my god, it is dumb.
It is dumb. Thank you. So I don't care about any of this. I wait till 5:35, so it seems like I'm staying overtime, and then I go home.
But I think everyone drinks the Luminade to some extent. Like even in like comedy and stuff, right? Like we all drink like if someone came into the comedy world and was like, "Don't you think this is so dumb?" We'd be like.
There's a lot of
believe in it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of mask off. I suppose, especially with industry stuff, there's a lot of like, is that needed, or like, does that help me at all? And like, I think it's very easy, and it's quite freeing as well. I think it's good and healthy to step away from any kind of Luminade and have some Pepsi instead.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. You shut your damn mouth.
Do it because I don't think it's Bill Pullman. I think it's someone else.
Is it just a fit older man?
Have a look.
Yeah.
Which guy it might be. But
what happened was I saw Bill
Bradley
Pullman.
Whitford.
Oh, Bradley Whitford.
The guy from the thing. The guy
a short,
from
king, white-haired man with thick glasses.
It was the man from Get Out. Yeah.
It was the man from Get Out. It wasn't Bill Pullman.
Yeah.
I have
Bill Pullman. You're fit too, if that helps. But what happened was I saw Bill
Bradley
Pullman.
Whitford.
Oh,
the
Bradley Whitford.
The guy from the thing. The
He's
guy
a short
from
king white
Get
haired man
Out.
with thick glasses.
It was
Okay.
the man from Get Out, yeah.
The man from Get Out. It wasn't Bill Pullman. It
Yeah.
was
Oh, I have
Bradley
Bill
Whitford.
Pullman, you're
Face
fit too, if that helps. But I quite we
I'd fuck both of them.
yeah together.
Just, if you're watching.
Yeah, it's just
Hey.
Bradley and Bill, the most.
They're probably watching together.
Yeah.
The
Oh my god,
roommates.
they're probably like Irving and Bert.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! Tenderly yearning, guys. See the callbacks. That we're so on top of it today.
I'm so sorry.
But
No,
I
bang them both. But yeah.
To be honest, because I do think I think that's fit. That type of dude. I think there is that kind of silver fox. Like
Where
I
they
think,
like build something evil and no, I don't like this anymore.
Yeah, completely.
It's like and that kind of
Well,
like
yeah, because it shows power, but it also like
because it is power
the
to be able to
critical
turn away
thinking.
from it and
Yeah,
to be like,
yeah.
no, I don't like this anymore, and to not be impacted by
Yeah.
not liking it anymore.
Have you had any maybe not work crushes, but moments
I
moments
feel
of
like I need to be
yearning
so
with
clear. I didn't have a crush on the HR man.
Okay. Yes.
In case.
yeah.
But do you have any similar yearning that bonded you with a co-worker or something?
Oh
in a similar
man,
way?
I feel like this is just going to be so dull, but I really, really loved one of my first bosses that I ever had because she, again, cut through bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that needs to get done, so I'll go speak to the guy. Like, we'll do it. Like,
Yeah, it's not some
there's-
magical dance you have to do.
Yeah.
It's just, oh yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, there's no reason. I think because because I worked in like communications and marketing at a university, and she had worked in the law for a really long time. Like she'd been a lawyer, and
Right.
then she went
Oh,
into
I've got some thoughts on
marketing.
this. Yeah.
And she was just like, well, that's
Yeah.
that okay.
That's so hard.
No one's going to jail. Yeah.
No one's going to jail. Like this is not that serious. It's not that deep.
Oh
Like-
my god.
So my mentor when I was when I was doing my qualified teacher year thing,
Yeah.
she was also ex-law and she had exactly the same thing. She was like one of the most amazing teachers I'd ever seen because she had that thing of like, well, no one died, so it's probably fine.
Yeah.
And she was just amazing at just like separating things and being like, yeah, it's a job, you don't have to bleed for this. Like she was amazing.
It's cool.
I guess in Severance, that person is Rickon. Because in
Oh
this
my god!
episode...
We didn't even talk about my favourite, literally my favourite thing that's happened on this show. Oh, thank God, dude. Thank God. The himbo extraordinaire that is Rickon. He is next level, dude. I love the actor. I love all his bullshitty lines. That's the kind of bullshit you want. That's the kind of bullshit you want, man. That's the stuff that keeps people alive. Oh, man. The fact that it radicalizes them gets me so pumped every time.
Because
He's
utter fucking drivel.
Yeah.
But in that world, it's like so revolutionary.
and
Completely.
even that it's got, and it is a very. I mean, there's a lot of. I used to think the show was very subtle, but now I think now that you see some of the bits,
It's
you're like,
slow.
it's really
Like,
not
it's
subtle.
subtle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that he tears up a photo of the family or his old friend, and that's also the map, and like that his family is what radicalized. It's so like, yeah, just don't care about work, dude. It's like the whole takeaway. Oh, it's amazing. I love it so much. And I love that. I didn't expect it to move so quickly when you jump up to the season finale and he gets to meet Mark gets to meet Rickon in real life, and like the weight of it is so felt for something so silly. Like it's the
It would be
silliest
like
thing.
reading the Bible and meeting Jesus.
Literally, yeah, and then the
Yes.
devil in the same. Yeah.
Oh shit.
It's so crazy. I love it so much. What were your the first time you watched that? Do you think it hit differently, or was there something, or was that
As in the show as a whole.
in the Rickon's book sort of arc?
So I'll be honest with you, I don't really remember it. So I've literally, at the end of episode 4, I think, is when they have the little voiceover bit of like the guy reading it, and I think it's so silly. But it is kind of like, I think what I like about it is like, and that's kind of because I feel like everything I say makes me sound like a dick, but like in the kind of show, because their world is so small, such tiny things mean
Yes,
so
yes,
much.
exactly. No, that's
And
not. That's
it
100%.
makes me think of like, it always makes me think of like, I remember once being on a train and there was a little kid and he had like a train ticket and he was like holding it like people who are listening can't see this, but he was like literally gripping it, and the ticket was like just sat like in his hand, and he was just gripping it, and it was right out in front of him, and it was the most important thing in the whole world for him because he had this ticket, he was looking after the ticket, that was his responsibility. And I think it has the same thing, like when they have the waffle party or when they get the little finger traps and all this stuff, it's like it means so much. And so I did find it quite emotional watching them sort of like come to like, they know that they're like versions of a version or copies of a copy, or even though they are the people themselves, but it's like there was just something so emotional about this kind of like moment, as if they were like lifting their heads up from the shadows up into like the light. It's so very special.
It's so that, and I don't think it's mean to say that as well, because I feel like it is built into the fabric of the show.
And especially as it's the, I can't remember his name, the conspiratorial guy.
Zach Cherry's character?
I don't know who that is. We might have
Dylan.
Dylan, thank you. Yeah.
The one who loves the waffle party.
Yes, Dylan. Yeah.
So the fact that it's him that's reading it as well feels really special, because he's the one who kind of maybe has such big ideas and such grand ideas about what they're doing, and sort of almost gets, like, he gets off on the excitement of like, oh, what are we doing here? Like, is it evil? Is it good? I don't know. He's almost like the centrist, but he still has this really big, vivid imagination. And so for him to be the one who's like reading it is like, oh, I don't know, it's very special.
Real quick, we should do political alignment chart of all the characters. If he's centrist,
well, he's got like
Bert's
libertarian vibes.
Bert is authoritarian.
Do you think Bert's authoritarian? Oh, true.
He loves like.
Innie of the Innies, we should say.
Of the Innies, yeah.
Like
on the outside, he's listening to Metallica.
Yeah.
Bert?
Yeah, Outie Bert is fucking sick. He's painting weird paintings. He's listening to crazy music.
God.
So he's whatever the one I am is. He's whatever alignment I am. Yeah. He's like a cool. He's like a.
Oh, Outie, sorry.
The Outie Bert, not Innie.
Like Innie Bert.
Sorry, yeah.
Okay.
Innie Bert is authoritarian. I
want to say right wing.
Right wing because he believes in Lumen for the most part. Anyway, Dylan is centrist. Mark is
so liberal because he's like maybe we can make the system work. Maybe we can make the system friendly.
Yeah, he is such a lib. Yeah, no, he is for sure.
And then Helly's like anarcho.
He's like
anarcho-communist. Yeah. Or just anarchist. She just wants everything. She would, literally rather die.
She wouldn't mind it being complete chaos down there as long as it was fucking with someone.
Yeah. And then Irving, we don't know enough.
He's just a sweetie pie.
Yeah. Cobella's fascist, obviously, and the others. Actually, that was very easy. I thought there would be some debate on that.
A big fist fight.
Again, a very simple, not a complicated show.
No, it's in a way it's not really, is it?
No.
Although there are things you notice on a rewatch, like one thing we haven't talked about yet is the break room.
Yes.
In this episode, obviously, with Helly having to say that thing 1,072 times, whatever. But one thing I noticed is when she's talking to Dylan afterwards, and they're having that little sort of mini bonding session in like the like actual break room they have, where they get to sit at a table, and she's like eating peanuts, and it's so cute. But she says. He says, "Oh, did you hear like the baby crying?"
Oh, and they all have a different.
And she's like, "Oh, but no, it sounded like some guy mumbling." And I was thinking that is like, because we find out later that Dylan has a child.
Yep.
Yeah. It's the thing that gives you the most anxiety would be like. That would be for me.
Oh, my kid's crying in the other room.
Yeah. Your kid crying. I've got to go help him, and like maybe for her, it's the voice of her father.
Yes.
Being angry at her.
Yes. 100% Rhiannon. So good. Yeah. I know. Yeah. It's so. Yeah. It's
What would be your stressy noises?
Polystyrene rubbing.
Actually, nothing that isn't deeply on.
You maybe come out of that. It's like, do you guys see the polystyrene rubbing the whole time?
No. And I was like, no, I heard my grandma sobbing. For me, it was polystyrene.
I heard the death rattle of my mother, actually. But sure, polystyrene. Yeah, cool.
Actually, it's pretty good. I'm trying to think of a noise I hate. Oh, I hate like scratching on fabric. My husband does this thing to get my like cat's attention, where he'll like scratch on the on like our bed sheets.
Yeah.
It's just like.
Oh, so bad.
Does he do the breathing out as well?
I ever imagined.
No, just like.
What do you think?
What do you hate?
I don't know. What would be. Something deep came, but I'll just think of something happier.
No, it's okay.
Go either way, man. Yeah. I can do a deep one too.
I have like, okay, so my like biggest like anxiety is when I go home if I can hear my dad being loud downstairs, because when I was like a child, trying to work out if he was being loud for a good reason or being loud for a bad reason, and just being like, and which reason is this?
That's so real.
And so I feel like that's what it would be. It would be like, is dad angry or is he fine?
Because men are loud.
They are just loud creatures.
So you gotta. That's a hard one to decipher.
I think it would be that.
I think Oh man, sorry,
Come on, guys,
in
let's
the
do
break room.
fucking therapy.
No, let's get into it.
Yeah.
What would it really be? I think it's not really a sound, but when my wife texts just okay to a long text, when I know she's upset with me, that would fill me with dread.
So
I'm
you
just
just get a notification.
all right,
in that case,
yeah,
it's
just
outlet
ding
in your head.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to game that one out later.
I
it
can't
doesn't matter
imagine you
what you say.
upsetting anyone's wife. Like, that's like...
Yeah. But it's never like, it's always, I don't want to sound like she's like always mad at me or like nagging or whatever.
Sounds like
but-
she's always mad at you and nagging
It
you.
sounds like you've got a bitch wife.
Well, now it's a podcast.
Sorry, now I get my hat.
My man cave is my Severance podcast where I can finally say what I really feel. Okay. Do you guys ever feel like Helly should just cut Mark a break?
She's such a nag.
Oh no, yeah. But it's just you know that thing where like I can't resolve this over text. We're gonna have to talk this through.
Yeah.
Or any kind of relationship, I think has that every now and again. Yeah.
But yeah, it's that thing of like someone that you care about, like being upset about something or there being a misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Resolve. I think like for me it would be a similar sort of thing of hearing a family member in pain or upset. It's just not a nice feeling at all, and it would make it really hard to read that screen and not feel bad.
Well, especially if you're saying it, you'd probably go through, not to emotionalize the break room or anything, but like you'd go through so many different iterations of shame. Like if you're reading 1,000 times, like you're loopy by the end of it, but you would just start visualizing stuff. And I was thinking actually on this watch of it's so classic, like it's such a weirdly good corporate torture because there's nothing provable in that. They're like, oh well, what do they make you do? Oh, we had to read the values. Like, well, of course you have to read the values. It's Keir's values, like they matter. Then you wouldn't but being there again to your point, like feeling the intimacy of it, turning the screw and just really, it's such a hard watch. It's a real flip switch of this show, I think.
I also love Milchak. I'm obsessed with that man.
Yeah,
Ooh.
me too.
There's something about him.
Yeah.
He's very spooky, but in a whole way.
His presence, I think it's I don't know what else he's been in, but his presence as an actor is so
the
daunting.
smile is so perfect.
I know.
It is the perfect smile for that actor.
Truly no one else could play that. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that. I don't even know where he's from. Is he like a theatre? Because it's such a weird mix of like unknowns and also like
But he's
huge
probably been in
celebrities.
loads of things, but we just have never noticed him because he's never had his moment.
Yeah. So God bless him. Yeah, I'm going to remember his name, but come on the pod, Milchak. We're never going to get anyone from the actual show on this podcast because we keep forgetting every character's name.
We don't know anything
We
about
might
it.
get Bill Pullman now, though.
Yeah, Bill Pullman, please.
Bradley
Plus.
Whitford.
Yeah.
No, it's just Bill
We
Pullman.
loved you. We loved both of you in The Handmaid's Tale and Severance.
Yeah,
You were great.
together you're like a two-man PT kind of. We're beginning to just wrap up here. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else we missed. I suppose just the last thing is because obviously we're looking forward to season 2 where I hope it goes completely 0 to 100. I mean, it already goes 0 to 100, so I hope it just jumps up to 100,000. Or is there anything from your rewatch that you want to see? Any dynamics or any character arcs that you're hoping to get out of it?
I'm open to anything. I'm feeling pretty free and liberal. I think I do, but I think because on the rewatch, because this is only my second time watching it, I found the first episode so boring rewatching it.
Yeah.
Because at first I rewatched it with the anticipation of like, oh my god, I'm rewatching it, like I remember how this felt.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, oh, come on. And like I did skip some bits.
It does languish, like it does like take its time. I think because part of the tension again is so much in what we don't know. So once you know it, you're like, why would I watch this again? Like I'm leagues in the future now.
Because I'm going to the melon party.
Yeah.
I do want it. I want it to be fucking insane. Like I want them to just lose their fucking mind. Like I want everyone to on the writing team to be smoking crack. Like that's what I want.
Yeah, that's
the
probably why
energy
they had
that
that
I want.
fallout. Yeah, they just ran out of crack.
Don't
Call the guy, call
don't
the guy.
smoke crack.
I will quit
Like,
this show if you call the
Please
guy.
don't smoke crack.
Yeah.
Please, guys.
Do an efficient drug. Do Ritalin. Do Ritalin.
Yeah.
It's like crack, but helps.
It's hard to get, though.
Yeah, hard to
Easier
get.
to get crack.
In the
Am I
States. Oh, they're in the
right?
States. They're in the States. They'll be fine. Yeah. You just cough and they'll be like, oh, Ritalin? Well, I do think they are going to go a bit balls to the wall because
Really
one of the
hope
things
so.
from the preview was we finally got a look at Gwendoline Christie's character, who is was a casting years ago when they first announced season 2, and you see her in some
she
kind
looks
of
crazy.
She looks insane because I thought she was going to be Cobell's boss replacement.
Yeah.
But she's like some kind of farmer woman.
She's wearing
It's
like a
like-
kerchief.
I haven't seen this, so I don't know anything about this trailer.
We'll show you we'll show you the trailer afterwards.
Oh,
But like it is just, I was like, oh, I have no idea what they've got in store. They are going absolutely off the rails
Why is she
in a
dressed like
good
that?
way. Yeah, why is she?
I was imagining her in just like corporate dress, like
Yeah.
like kind of blonde hair slicked back.
maybe Bob.
Yeah,
you know.
Bob, like lovely suit.
Yeah.
She looks crazy.
She looks nuts, and actually I'm pleased for her because like I feel like as great as Gwendoline Christie is, I feel like she often does play characters that are archetypes a lot of the time, and like she plays a lot of like, because she was literally, I think in Star Wars she's like Boba Fett, but like Lady Boba Fett or whatever,
Lady Boba.
and it's like she doesn't do it. She just has a
That's
mask on. And just
I was gonna say, does she have a
trots
bow?
around. Yeah,
Just a
it's just
bow.
like that. I want to see her.
I didn't even think of that. That's so
Oh,
cute.
nice!
That's so cute.
Did Boba the Tea exist before Boba Fett
I don't
was a
think
thing?
so.
Because that feels nuts that they would not think of that. Like,
They must at Disney World have a Boba tea.
oh yeah,
Boba
with little
Fett.
helmets. Oh my god, I actually love that. I don't even like Star Wars. I don't even like Star Wars that much, but that's great design. That is
I don't like Boba. I don't like.
I don't,
Star
no,
Wars,
really, I don't
but-
even like Boba that much either. But somebody's got to do it. But I know, I just want to see it because you see in interviews she's such a charismatic and person, and so I want to see her.
Yeah, not just play
Uh,
like the strong type, like
Yeah.
that kind of like almost because when she was in Game of Thrones, which is obviously what she was sort of like her breakout role. It is very sort of like not emotionless, but sort of like I put my service to everyone else before my emotions. Whereas this character, what little we've seen of her, it seems like it's not like that at all. But it's like,
Yeah, completely. Yeah, I am just so game for letting actors be weird with stuff.
But I think that's what every actor is waiting for, is the moment they're trusted to be mental.
Yeah.
Oh god, it's my
That's what they all
favourite.
want.
I once saw, just to, I guess, round out the middle classness that has been in swaves of this podcast, I saw Sarah Snook in The Picture of Dorian Gray at
Is
the
it
National
good?
Theatre. Yeah, but it's also like primo this of just like an actor going absolutely insane for like an
love
hour
it.
and a half, no break. She's playing every single character, and I
And I
get
didn't ask her to.
no one asked her to, man.
They
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
ask her to.
This wasn't an official thing.
Yeah.
She just turned up. What are you going to do? Say no?
And they're like, film, quickly, yeah. It's my, I love it. So I get such a, because I can't act, as my GCSE drama teacher told me a lot of
I'm
times.
so sorry. That's savage.
I never got to make choices, you know. I had to, I was Ross in the school play of Macbeth. We do not have time for this, but
Not Ross from Friends.
not Ross from
I
Friends.
was
although
like Ross. I thought maybe it was a metaphor. I was like, yeah,
that would be nuts if you did a school play version of Friends and you just had these
so weird.
You just have these like year 11s playing out Friends scenes. Because would you do an omnibus? You have to do an hour, right? So would you do
Yeah,
just
the
like
scenes.
you just
We have like the pivot bit.
oh, do the wedding
Yeah,
episode?
yeah, the
Surely do the
wedding
wedding in
episode.
England episode.
There'd be some like drama teacher who's up to like 3 a.m. trying to make a narrative out of it.
Oh my god, I would get. I would. To be fair, as a parent, I'd be like, this slaps.
This is
This is so
incredible.
sick. But you wouldn't be able to cast anybody. But is there anything you're looking forward to? And it could be big acting choices or big anything that you want to see.
I'd
coming
forgotten
out.
that we're going to get new people, and you know when you have a show that you feel like you love, you kind of get a little bit scared about like the new kids in town.
Yeah.
'Cause you're like,
I
are they
feel
going to
that.
fuck it up?
Well,
Are they going to ruin the dynamic? But I am very excited.
Well,
it's going to be great.
I believe. I've forgotten his name. It's John something. He
John
plays.
something.
He's John
Love that
something. They
guy.
got John something. They got him. Finally met something's demands. But he's the guy. He's one of those actors. He's in lots of stuff. The only.
Not him.
The only. Oh, please help me out.
Well, you have to
No,
collectively.
I'm
John
really
Sim.
trying. The only thing that comes to mind is that he voiced Scarecrow in the Batman Arkham Knight game,
Oh God!
and he was in that sci-fi show, not with the woman.
Look him up. Look him up.
You know that sci-fi show where she's a woman and she goes into water to see the future.
No.
It was from the 2000s.
Oh, what?
This stuff exists, by the way. I'm not just making stuff. I'm just making stuff.
Find John something.
No, I don't want to embarrass myself.
No, keep going. No, so I already am.
Is it like in this System of a Down video for
Search?
And I swear there's like a Liv Tyler type, and she's getting like zooped in the head in water.
It is. Yes.
Is it that? Is it actually that?
I think it might.
Actually that?
I think it might be that.
I didn't know that was real. I was just imagining it.
This is just like two.
We'll just none of us know who anyone is.
Okay, so this
I got it.
person.
John Noble. It's John
I have
Noble.
no idea who that
Don't
is.
know.
Fuck, John Noble.
Don't know who that is.
It's John Noble, everybody. It's John Noble.
Oh, I love
What,
that.
so okay.
He was in Lord of the Rings. Oh, he's the evil king in Lord of the Rings. You know, in the
Theoden.
third Lord of the Rings.
Oh.
And he's eating the tomato weird.
Oh, Theoden.
Yeah. Theoden. Yeah. Fuck, that took a while.
Papa Thay.
It was.
Oh no, that's not Theoden.
That's not Theoden.
He's the long-haired one.
Yeah.
The more scriggly one.
Fringe was the show. I was trying to remember.
Yeah, no, I
The
don't.
name of the character.
No.
Is it the one from System of a Down? Or is
Anyway.
that just an interpretation that they did?
I don't know, man.
I came in, I derailed it by talking about horny playlists.
John Noble as well, the most boring name in the world. Like I couldn't
Literally,
figure it out.
I couldn't pick that man out of a crowd.
Burning another bridge with the cast. John Noble, come on the show.
No, fuck him. No, sorry.
He plays Christopher Walken's boyfriend. You can see him in the window in the finale briefly.
That's not him.
That
is
is
it?
him. I swear to God. Watch it when we get to when you get to episode 8. But he's playing. So again, we're getting these big. I'm hoping we get to see a lot more tender gay.
So
A lot more.
Denethor.
Denethor.
For God's sake, people listening to this podcast must just be like screaming.
Yeah, just like,
His name is Denethor. His name is John Noble.
Fringe. It's Fringe.
Oh god.
Anyway, I think that is all we have time for. So.
Sorry.
Oh, we've got to end it like a fucking
Are they
Jake
usually this
Brown
chaotic,
show.
or have I brought a horrible energy?
No.
This has been the most chaotic one, but I like it.
We have before had things where we're just like, who's that actor?
We'll clear it up
But-
in
Yeah.
post.
yeah. We'll
John
have a
Noble.
voiceover.
You're actually you haven't introduced chaos because you've been the first person to say, "Can we cut that out?" No one else has thought
No one has
that this could be an edit.
Please don't make me look dumb on the podcast. I'm begging you, sir.
Yeah. Before we go, Alice, thanks so much for coming on. This has been
Thank you so much for
amazing.
having me.
Is there anything you want to plug or where can people find your stuff?
I am actually doing some things. Please add me on Instagram. I am, I was going to say Dr. Pepper. I don't know if that
Come on, we got it. Come on, just hold it together.
I'm popular comedian Alice India on Instagram. There is another Alice India comedy on Instagram, but she's a bitch. No, she's just me, and I didn't change my
No,
password.
we hate her.
No, we don't have to keep that in. But on Friday the 11th of October, I'll be at the Rosemary Branch Theatre doing a 30-minute preview of my show along with Emily Bampton and Fanny Bleach. Please come.
Both amazing comedians as well. You should definitely check that out. Do you have anything to plug, Rhiannon, before we go?
Oh God, not at the moment. Keep on trucking.
I don't know if I can do that. It's not in my diary.
Next,
Oh, sorry.
I haven't got the time.
I have a couple of things to plug real quick. I don't know when this is coming out, so I'm just going to
Yes.
throw them all out there.
Okay.
But I have a work in progress show at the London Hospital Tavern on the 13th of September, which is at 7:30. Please come. That's the only one where there's no footfall guaranteed, so I do need people to come to that. And also, I'm doing another work in progress show as part of the Lambeth Fringe on the 29th of September. But if you follow my Instagram, I'll be tagged in the videos that come out of this, and it's Daniel_McKeown. You can find all that stuff there. If you've been watching this, thank you so much.
you.
And if you're listening, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. It helps us find people. Comment, just it boosts engagement. If you have fan theories, send them our way. If you want to just tell us how mad it made you that we couldn't remember key details of this show. Let us know, thanks so much for listening. It's been the Innie Outie cast. I've been Daniel McKeown.
I've been Rhiannon Shaw.
Stay integrated.
Bye.